So coming back to people, so what are the qualities do you look in the first few members of the research team when you interview them? Do you look for curiosity, discipline, communication, or a burning passion?
I was chatting with I was in a faculty development workshop last week, and this kind of came up in terms of, this is a long kind of way. I'll be brief to try to get to your question, but they wanted us to focus on emotional milestones that pivotal things in our life that affect kind of how we are and how we approach things. And when I think of people and selecting the right people, I always remember my personal experience when I was the age of 13 and playing basketball. And briefly, the way basketball structured here in our area is that everyone, so all the kids that desire to play on a team, try out together. All the coaches are in the same gym at the same time. And then there's the highest level, which we call AAA. Then you go to AA, single A, then you go triple B, double B, single B, and you go down this way all the way to C. And as the players are doing the different activities, coaches there are selecting their teams, and people get weeded out as you go down the structure. The first year I played, it was the first year playing basketball, and I went through that whole filter, and I ended up not on any team at all. We were called kind of the dirty dozen, the people that didn't find a team, had minimal to no skill set, etc., and ended up playing that year just because a parent volunteered to allow us to have the opportunity. The very next year, I went back, did the same process to go through the filtering, except I made the highest level team. And nothing really changed in year 1 to year 2 in terms of my basketball skill, to the point where it created a huge disruption in the organization, because for me to take the AAA team, I had to displace another player. People had been together for a while. There's a trickle-down effect to the organization. People could see that my skill set wasn't there, and it was quite awkward. And so I remember in that moment, that's pivotal, and I talk about it a lot, where we went with my dad and myself, and we spoke to the coach and said, hey, I think you made a mistake. I don't belong on this team. This is where I play. I didn't even make a team last year. How do I go from there to here? And what he said, that coach, was he was very sure that he did not make a mistake. He acknowledged that he didn't have the skill set. And what he said is, it doesn't matter that you haven't played for years. It doesn't matter that you haven't been in these camps or have maybe this access to all these other equipment and separate skills trainers. But when I asked you to dribble with your left hand, you dribbled with your left hand. When I asked you to shoot here, you shot there. You may have missed the whole net, but you did what I was asking to do. And when I, refined your technique or made some suggestions on how to do this a little bit better, you tried to do it. And so you are coachable. You are responding to criticism, constructive or not. You are willing to get better. And, these are the things, like, you will get better if you're in an environment of people that force you to be better. So you will get to the AAA level if you give me a year and you play with us for a year, and you have these kind of skills that I've observed that, it's in the right environment, you'll succeed. And so at the time, I was 13, I was like, this is crazy. I couldn't really understand how you would see that, but I did. Like, I got measurably better because I was around people that were better, and you're a product of your environment. And what he gave me a chance on was the fact that it didn't matter how long I'd been with the organization. It didn't matter how much skill I had. It didn't matter anything objectively. So when I look at this, I've always transferred it to building a team where, you get a lot of people that have very impressive CVs. That is important, but it doesn't matter really to me. It doesn't matter how much research you've done. You could have had zero research experience. Everyone has to start somewhere. You can't drive a car by sitting in the parking lot. Right? You can't learn to drive by sitting in the parking lot, so to speak. And so what I look for, and I spend a lot of time, I will meet usually with people that are interested in joining our research program. I get 1 to 2 emails a day from different learners at different levels. And where best as possible, I try to meet with them and try to get a sense of these skills, you would say, or personality traits that don't necessarily come out on a CV, or that someone may not necessarily volunteer. Willingness to just learn, a willingness to be part of something better, and that kind of deal. So I spend a lot of time trying to see what that coach saw in me at 13 to cause such a disruption in that organization at the time. And it's maybe not to the same scale in research, but it is important, because everyone is largely on paper the same. All are high achievers, all have great marks, all have some really good CVs. It's the personality pieces that are going to be the most important to building a sustained team that allows you to grow.